art, movies we watch, TV shows, who our idols are. So combining these two is so much fun if you're into technology and the impact of technology and into pop culture, music, art, and so on. This is why getting
of my journey, and yeah, I think that's a really smart observation.
The concept of and or, you spoke a lot about it a lot on your content and also on stage in your opening keynote. I'd like to go more into this. I know the or is for people who draw lines in the sand, but this is not for me. I did that mistake with VeeFriends one. I was following you on the business side.
Yes.
When you skewed into
Capable of having as many ands as I do, because most people focus on things that end up not mattering. We only have so much focus. We only have so many hours. We only have so much energy. If you dwell on the little things that are not working, you are incapable of executing on the big things that might work. Just angel one day. For me, it's a whole spectrum of connecting dots. Most people just go and focus on one dot and go deep, and it's all based on fear and insecurity. My great fortune is that my circumstance and mother belief. The practice we need to get comfortable with this is falling in love with losing. The reason I struggle with 8th place trophies is not because I want kids to be upset. Win later. We must teach children in the early part of their life how to be comfortable with losing. Losing is good. Losing is good. Booing is good. People's judgment. Why the hell are you going to practice more if the same trophy goes to you in 8th place than 1st place? And there's a lot of people that don't like when I talk about this, and I understand why. People run away from it. I love the feeling of thinking it's my fault. One of the biggest reasons I've not been able to really enjoy fully this weekend is everything is my fault. The person on Twitter this morning, when I was getting ready, who says that they were upset and their experience is not as good because they almost got ran over as people were trying to get t-shirts, and now they will start working on fixing it instead of deciding who they're going to blame. Society, the weather, their aunt, your boss. We must get out of that place. Accountability is good. We are living in an era right now where everybody will tell you whose fault it is for them not to be happy. The actual answer is, it's your fucking fault. I'll tell you, I put in the work. Working out does not come natural to me. I figured it out. I want to live longer so I can keep spitting this knowledge. I put in the work. If I can figure out working out, anybody can figure out anything. And by the way, physical is easier than mental. Me figuring out candor and being in my process makes me triple confident. I'm 50, I'm 60. Why? You're 60, you're gonna live for another 40 years with modern medicine. Doing. You're halfway home. We're in the early 3rd quarter. The Jets have blown many games early in the 3rd quarter.
the last question is about community building. A lot of people in the audience.
That you went to VeeCon and decided you're gonna build a community. You think you're gonna do that in 36 hours? You think you're going to build a community in a month? People are like, I'm going to build a community before I launch my NFT project. I'm going to launch a Discord and we're going to launch in 30 days. I'm like, that's cute. I've been doing this for 15 years, 24/7, 365.
What do you do?
And these board apes and these VeeFriends and these, conferences that are a Viking stadium of these people who are so passionate around this, and they're curious. They wonder how they can be a part of it. So that's sort of a little bit where we are. It's a little bit of deja vu from 10 years ago with brands and social. It's now brands in the world of Web3 and figuring out if and how they should do a collaboration. They should do an NFT program. They should incorporate this into some of the. But I have conversations at least 10 times a day of I could take a screenshot of this and save it on my phone. So explaining why digital asset ownership matters is one concept. The second is cryptocurrency. Right now, the primary method for payment in the NFT world is crypto. A lot of enterprises are very nervous about crypto mattering, beginning to understand crypto and decentralization. And third, really understanding that this is a long-term development and not like the 2022 campaign they should do.
For those enterprises who are worried about the success of the projects.
Mm-hmm. Onboard free or very, very low cost to onboard people to your project and program and ensure that it can be successful. Because I think when something has a free or low price point, people are are grateful for it. They're also excited to see and be a part of something that isn't necessarily costing them multiple ETH. I think the biggest risk factor
Communities, especially that it's not straightforward, especially you have to go through Discord and other channels that are new to different brands and so on. So what would your recommendation be?
I think a couple things. First, either start building something that's looking for, other or Twitter, creating an opportunity for your community to dialogue together and talk about something that they have a shared belief in is a tremendous opportunity. Doing collaborations, I think, is probably the smartest way to create awareness, and finding a way to do a collaboration that's mutually beneficial to whoever the entrepreneur or new entrant is, and also that project, the ones they're collaborating with, I think is the smartest way to kind of get people. They're like, Avery, I want to learn. I want to get this, because even if they don't understand it 100% now, they understand other people feel this passionately, and it's a reason they're going to take time out of their super busy schedules to learn here, which is pretty amazing.
And all 7,000 people came to us silent and halt. It was wonderful. Very, very powerful. So I did that. I moderated Eva Longoria and Hoda Katan, both of who I invited to come here to VeeCon. I did a panel on Discord, how to be a master moderator of Discord. And then I talked to 3 incredible, I have a team of 4 people on the press side. They did 55 interviews on the first day. So imagine managing the schedules of all the speakers and all the guests and all the press needs and the logistics of the rooms and how we put together a daily recap of what happened, putting out press releases and photos and turn around the videos. It's an incredible operation. And Deepak's schedule, managing Huda's schedule, interviews, meetings, making sure that they meet all the right people, get all the right press. And so putting together detailed plans for all of them as well.
Let's talk about the team building effort on this. So those who I met were Lara, Beth, and Maria. Excellent under pressure, very, very well handled. So, because I hire for myself and for my clients as well.
Can follow. So that's really the main strategy of all these people. And that's why I'm really grateful that they're my team. I told a couple of them the first night, it's the first time I have a team that I can trust that just takes over the reins and runs with it. And I'm really, others that we have like dealing with all the moving parts of like the talent, the speakers and the programming, make sure we have the right diversity, the right types of people, different categories from celebrities to athletes.
The schedule was solid there were small delays within minutes, not huge.
Gary noticed on the first day when there was a big line for the merch, everyone rushed to get the merch and people were pushing and shoving to get merch. And it was almost going to get like, everyone really wanted the merch.
Comfortable. You have to make sure that they do it well and you have to do it systematically. So walk me through that, because it's a skill set that you have to practice.
Yeah, it's finessing, making sure you're creating value. Like, I know how important it is. You came all the way from Dubai to be here. I have to make sure that you get the right value, meet the right people. By the way, Gary said his interview with you was incredible. He's like, that was fine. I didn't hear it. I walked in and I know you did it, but I'm just saying, like, I knew if we can create a connection for people and add value to them, that something good's going to come out of it. So you have to just have that judgment, like what's worth the effort to get something squeezed in last minute. Are you really going to get that power? And it obviously paid off.
And with the interview with Gary, because I know him so well and his content so well, I've been keeping in touch with him so well. My questions were not, what's an NFT and what's Web3. So we went into things that, and of course it's him. He adds so much. And what I really like about him is that he's with you, right? 100% all the time. It's not like there are many things that are happening around him. He can lose focus for a second. My last question for you was more from a woman's perspective, right? So I'm bringing up an 11-year-old daughter, and I always look for women who are accomplished in their career. And I think about, upbringing and things like this and so on. So what are a couple of things, 1 or 2 things that you felt have made a difference in your upcoming, whether it's adversity or not, that made you feel comfortable, that helped you now?
I grew up in an environment where I was in a family of educators. So I was always having to learn. And lifelong learning was a value that my parents instilled in me, that you always need to be learning. You're just, when you go to school, it's not when you finish your education. You're just getting started. So having the humility to learn something new, like Web3, having the humility to take on new industries and marketplaces that are very difficult to understand, have the empathy and patience with yourself to figure it out, and really just focus on investing in yourself. If you invest in yourself, take the time to learn new things, good things will come out of it.
My last question is combining the Middle Eastern part of Maha and the American part of Maha, right? So Minnesota, it's my first time in Minnesota, and so many people have been here for the first time. I saw you teaching a DJ yesterday on how to belly dance as well, right? So you're combining the two. Walk me through that.
First of all, this is taking place in my hometown. So it's a very personal thing for me that all these people are in Minneapolis for the first time, Minnesota for the first time. Like Eva Longoria is like, why are we going to Minnesota? Like, it's just like, I really happy that she's saying the word Minnesota and she's here because of this event. So I think that's really personal for me. It combines my personal passion of my home state, my personal passion of my work, my passion in my work with Gary, and my job. So it's really, really like enlightening and like warming moment for me. Secondly, you know, I talked about it on stage with Huda and Eva. I have been approached by so many Egyptians that are here at this event. It's incredible. And yesterday, it was the end of the day. We've had a very long couple of days last on our feet. And so some guy was trying to teach me salsa. And I'm like, no, I'm going to teach you how to belly dance. And actually, it was a really fun moment and just got to show my roots and cultures in different ways.
Thank you, Maha, for your energy and your activity. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you, Ayman. Thank you.
Hi Nadine وسلمى. عم نحكي اليوم عن Art d'Egypte. What you're trying to do is you're trying to take artists who today struggle in Web 2. They struggle with their Instagram, with their website, and so on, and you're taking them a deeper step into Web 3. The image I have in my mind is cartoons with Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. You put them in a rocket and they zoom and crash. So how are you helping them zoom and not crash?
So I think it's a simple answer because actually to start with, we have physical installations. And what happened in Forever Is Now, our last exhibition in October, was that there was a huge online impact. So the digital world really made a difference. So instead of having 500,000 people physically see the exhibition, we had over 2 billion people see the exhibition. So imagine if these artworks are on a digital platform, how many people will see it? So it makes it much more accessible to the whole world. And she can answer the answer regarding the runner.
So basically, we just launched our first NFT project on Foundation. It's very exclusive. It's 8 NFTs. Forever Is Now, exactly. So we turned the physical artworks into digital artworks. And these were launched 2 days ago. And thanks to Nadine's talk tonight, there are a huge following on Foundation straight after. So it really made a huge difference. We were in collaboration with all the Forever Is Now artists, most of them, and they're all very looking forward to being a part of the new Web3 digital world.
I'm particularly interested in this project because I got my start as digital advisor helping artists. So what I used to do is after, a nice show, I used to walk up and say, I like your work. How can I, stay up to date with you? They're like, take my email or whatever. It was like Instagram, Twitter, at the time, Instagram, Twitter, website, Facebook. So I saw ongoing that this is an issue, and then I started to help out artists and so on. And then it was difficult to scale, and I looked at it differently. So, but 15 years later, they still struggle with their Instagram, their Twitter, their website. So how big of a jump is this to them? Do they have the attitude of saying, look, Nadine, take my artwork, do whatever, do your Web3 thing, and just send me the money?
So it depends on the artist, actually. But what you say is very true, and it's very important. And jumping from Web 2 to Web 3 is also a leap. But again, it's very important. And I think we have also an issue in our region. Is that
one issue in terms of art? Only one?
One of the issues is also it's good that you just said that you would help artists to get out there. A lot of artists don't even have a proper portfolio, don't have a proper Instagram account. So how would you see their art? How would you know about them? And at the end of the day, if they just exhibited one physical space, how many people will see their art? So it is very important to have an online existence. And I think this is what the digital world is helping do.
Salma, walk us through the flow. I have a great artist. She draws very well. Do I send her over? Do I introduce her to Forever Is Now? What happens? And you look at portfolio, you accept all, or you educate some, or you present them, you're part of the percentage. Walk us through that.
Well, so basically, we select our artists very, very carefully. Some you meet in exhibitions, some you hear about, some you see their work online. You want them to be part of your exhibition. But at the same time, you know, all the artworks of Forever Is Now are custom made. So they have to be in dialogue with the Egyptian civilization, the ancient Egyptian civilization. So, you know, you pick the artist and then they submit a proposal, and then it goes through a whole process until it's finally accepted and curated into the space, physically, digitally, you name it.
So let's say it's accepted. Then what? What do you do? And do you just wait and get an email saying, okay, you're tokenized?
Oh, you mean turning them from physical?
What's the process?
I mean, look, so let's say an artist does a physical piece. You're like, let's go into Web3, let's digitalize it, create an NFT for it. And then you start talking to them about it, how they can transform their physical artwork into digital. So this is a whole process, you know, maybe you're dealing just with the artist, maybe you're dealing with designers that are helping the artist, helping the company to make the physical into digital. And then you select the platform you want to distribute the exhibition in, and then you create a collection for the exhibition on Web3, Art Egypt in collaboration with the artist.
But you tokenize and you do everything for them, right?
We do everything from A to Z.
You have your own tech team, you have a third party, you have a platform. How did you implement this?
Yeah. So for foundation, there's foundation websites already there. But what we did with the artist is that we came up with an idea with the artist how we want to make the physical into digital, and we have an in-house designer that helps us digitalize the artworks. So we go back to the artist, and if they like the idea, you like the design, we go ahead, we tokenize, we mint, we get everything sorted, smart contract, everything, and then it's minted onto foundation, and it's live.
My last question to either of you is the problem of self-expression. For me, I find it unusual that an artist, because all they do, whether it's sculpture, painting, whatever it is they do, it's self-expression. They can express themselves so well in their art, but when it comes to self-expression in terms of getting people to know them, in terms of just letting know who they are, I'm not saying self-promotion extreme, outrovert sort of element, just getting to know the basics of making sure of people know them. They self-express so poorly. They've always have been like this. Why?
Because, and I mean, I believe it's important for an artist to have an advisor or a publicist or someone that would take care of this side of their career. Because an artist should have the peace of mind and the time to create and not have the pressure of them going and getting press or, you know, having their Instagram account managed. So a lot of people, a lot of platforms, a lot of galleries would do that for the artists. It's important. And again, in Egypt, for instance, through the exhibitions we do, because we do big public exhibitions in historical spaces, and they're open to the public. They're completely open. It's not in a small confined space, but you go to Shari al-Mu'izz, for instance, which is in historic Cairo, and you see artwork in the locations, and it's out there for the public for free. So this is really important, and it's important because we manage things in a 360 degree. So as a curator, what I try to do is have all the aspects there, make sure that there are collectors that attend the exhibitions, make sure that there's enough public to come see the exhibition, make sure that there's enough media, because without you guys, nobody would hear anyone's story. So it's really important to have this figured out and done professionally. It's not easy, but it's something we have to do.
One thing I'd add, it's something I'm asking both of you to do, is add as much utility as you can. Because I look at all of these artists and they treat it like it's a collectible item. If you like me and my work, you collect it. NFTs are not like this, right? So pumping in as much utility. I saw you have invitations to things and so on in your utility, but just pump as much as possible to that. So artists who want to join you, where do they go? What do they do?
Get in touch with us either on Instagram, @artegypt, or info@artdegypte.
Do they need to be from Egypt?
Nope. We work with international artists as well.
And they could be painters, sculptors, whatever?
Yes, we have different.
That's not a solid yes.
No, but we have different exhibitions around the year, not just one. We prefer working with installations and sculptures because we do a lot of outdoor exhibitions. But yes, we do work with multidisciplinary artists.
Artists, if you're looking to get into the space, the help that they're giving you from the description today is clear. If you want to do this on your own, it's going to take you a while, but don't treat it like, oh, I'll email it to these guys and let them worry about it. Either you're in or you're out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And that was Samashi's special VeeCon coverage, showing you behind the scenes of the latest in Web3 and pop culture. And that summarizes Samashi's behind the scenes of how VeeCon is set up. What does it mean for you as a consumer and person who's interested in Web3, and what you can do from a tech, art, and business perspective. Look for more content from Samashi about Web3 and crypto and pop culture. VeeCon is fun. I really wish that you can find yourself in an industry that you really like, and you have fun doing this. So if you're into Web3 and technology and pop culture and music and want to do this for the next 6 to 10 years, VeeCon is where you need to be at.